The crystal chandeliers scattered light like broken promises across Lumiere's marble floors. Maya Santos moved between tables, her worn sneakers whispering against stone, 3 plates balanced on her arm. The restaurant breathed old money and older contempt. Table 12. The man sitting there wore a suit that could pay her rent for a year. Adrien Cross. She'd seen his face on magazine covers, all sharp angles and colder eyes. "Your entree, sir." He didn't look up from his phone. Maya set the plate down. The porcelain clinked. His hand shot out, gripping her wrist. "This is cold. I just brought it from the kitchen. I can. Do I look like I eat cold food?" His voice carried across the dining room. Conversations died. What kind of establishment hires people who can't do the simplest tasks? Heat crawled up Maya's neck. "Sir, please lower your voice." "Lower my voice?" Adrien stood, towering over her. "I'm paying $300 for this meal. The least you could do is serve it properly. But I suppose that's too much to expect from someone like you." "Someone like you." The words landed like a slap. The manager appeared, apologizing. Adrien waved him off, throwing cash on the table. As he brushed past Maya, he leaned close. "Learn your place." Maya stood frozen as he disappeared through the door. Her hands trembled. Around her, diners returned to their meals, the moment already forgotten. She made it to the back alley before the tears came. The dumpster reeked of rotting produce. She pressed her palms against brick, breathing hard. "You okay?" Carlos, the line cook, stood in the doorway holding a cigarette. "I'm fine." That guy was a real piece of work. He lit the cigarette. Adrien Cross, CEO of Cross Industries. Company's about to go public. Could make him billions. Maya wiped her eyes. Good for him. Hey, forget him. Guys like that always get what's coming. She nodded, but the humiliation burned. Her phone buzzed. A text from her father. "Dinner tomorrow. We need to talk about the Cross Industries deal. Don't be late." Maya stared at the message. Cross Industries. She thought of Adrien's contempt, the way he'd looked through her like she was nothing. Her finger hovered over the screen. Then she smiled. It wasn't a pleasant smile. Actually, she whispered to the empty alley, "Maybe I will show up to dinner." Ricardo Santos's penthouse stretched across the top floor of the Meridian Tower. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city like a painting. Maya stood in the foyer, her second-hand dress suddenly feeling inadequate. "Mija." Her father emerged from his study, arms open. Silver threaded through his dark hair. "It's been too long. You said we needed to talk." His smile faded. Always so direct. "Come, eat first." The table was set for 3. Maya froze. "You didn't say we'd have company." "A business associate. This deal I mentioned, it's important. I thought you should meet him." The elevator chimed. Footsteps approached. Adrien Cross walked into the dining room. He stopped dead. For 3 seconds, the universe held its breath. "You," Adrien said. Maya's father glanced between them. "You two know each other?" "We've met." Maya's voice was ice. "Mr. Cross was very clear about people like me knowing our place." Adrien's face had gone pale. "Mr. Santos, I didn't realize that the waitress you humiliated was my daughter?" Ricardo's tone could have frozen blood. "No. I imagine you didn't." Adrien's composure cracked. Maya watched him calculate, saw the exact moment he understood. The Cross Industries IPO depended on Santos' backing. Without it, the company would collapse under debt. "Mr. Santos, I apologize." If I had known. If you had known she was important, you would have treated her with respect. Ricardo's laugh was bitter. That tells me everything I need to know about your character. Maya touched her father's arm. Papa. Can we speak privately? In the study, Ricardo paced like a caged animal. I'm pulling my investment. That arrogant. Don't. He turned. What? Don't pull the investment. Maya's mind raced. Not yet. Maya, after what he did. Make it conditional. The plan formed as she spoke. He wants your money. He works with me. I joined Cross Industries as a consultant. 6 months. He treats me with respect. Proves he can change. Then you invest. Ricardo studied her. And if he refuses? Then he loses everything. She met her father's eyes. But if he agrees, I get to watch him squirm every single day. I think that's worth more than simple revenge. Her father's smile was slow and dangerous. You really are my daughter. They returned to the dining room. Adrien stood by the window, his reflection ghost pale in the glass. Mr. Cross, Ricardo said. I have a proposition. Adrien listened as Ricardo outlined the terms. Maya watched emotions flicker across his face. Pride. Anger. Desperation. You want me to work with her? Adrien's voice was strained. I want you to learn from her, Ricardo corrected. My daughter chose to work 3 jobs, put herself through business school because she wanted to earn her own way. She knows more about real struggle than you ever will. And if I refuse? Then Cross Industries files for bankruptcy by Christmas. Ricardo's smile didn't reach his eyes. Your choice. The silence stretched. Maya could hear her own heartbeat. Fine. Adrien's jaw was tight. 6 months. Excellent. Ricardo clapped his hands together. Maya will start Monday. I trust you'll treat her with the respect she deserves. Adrien's gaze found Maya. Something flickered in his eyes. Not quite anger. Not quite fear. Of course, he said softly. Welcome to Cross Industries, Miss Santos. After Adrien left, Maya stood at the window watching the city lights. You sure about this, Mija? Her father's hand on her shoulder. He humiliated me because he thought I was powerless. Maya's reflection stared back at her. Now he'll learn what it feels like. But as she watched Adrien's car disappear into traffic, a strange feeling settled in her chest. Not quite satisfaction. Something far more dangerous. 3 months changed everything. Maya's heels clicked against Cross Industries' marble floors. Employees nodded as she passed. The transformation had been gradual. Adrien's hostility had evolved into grudging respect, then something harder to define. Late nights reviewing contracts. Heated debates over strategy. The way his hand would linger when passing her documents. The electricity when their eyes met across conference tables. You were right about the Singapore deal. Adrien stood in her office doorway, tie loosened. It was past midnight. The city glittered below. I would have lost millions. I know. Maya didn't look up from her laptop. He moved closer. Why did you really take this job? To torture me? Yes. She finally met his gaze. Is it working? More than you know. His voice was rough. The air between them crackled. Maya stood, suddenly aware of how close he was. She could smell his cologne, see the flecks of amber in his gray eyes. Adrien. I was wrong about you. His hand reached for her face, fingers barely touching her cheek. About everything. Don't. But she didn't move away. Tell me you don't feel this. Maya's heart hammered. 3 months of watching him change. Seeing the man beneath the arrogance. The late-night conversations where he talked about his father's impossible standards, the pressure that had turned him cold. She'd tried to hate him. God, she'd tried. "We can't," she whispered. "I know." But his thumb traced her jawline. "Doesn't change what I feel." The kiss was inevitable. Desperate. 3 months of tension shattering like glass. Maya pulled away first, breathing hard. "This is a mistake." "Probably." Adrien's smile was crooked, vulnerable. "Worth it, though." The next morning, everything fell apart. Maya arrived at the office to find security waiting. The head of HR, Jennifer Blake, stood with her arms crossed. "Miss Santos, we need you to come with us." "What's going on?" "Company funds have been disappearing. $2 million over 3 months. Jennifer's face was stone. "The transfers trace back to your login credentials." The floor tilted. "That's impossible. I would never." "We have the evidence." "I'm sorry, but we're terminating your employment and pressing charges." Adrien appeared from his office, face blank. Maya's eyes found his. "Adrien, tell them. You know I didn't do this." He wouldn't meet her gaze. "The evidence is clear. You can't be serious." Her voice cracked. "After last night." "Last night was a mistake." His voice was flat, emotionless. The walls had gone back up. "Security, escort her out." Maya felt like she'd been punched. "You're choosing your company over the truth?" "I'm choosing facts over feelings." Adrien's mask was perfect. "I can't afford to be wrong about this." "You were wrong about me from the start." Tears burned her eyes. "And you just proved you haven't changed at all." They walked her through the office. Every employee watched. The humiliation was worse than the restaurant. Because this time it hurt. In the elevator, Maya pulled out her phone with shaking hands. A text to her father. "I need you." His response came immediately. "I know. I'm sorry, Mija. Come home." The doors opened to the lobby. Flash bulbs exploded. Reporters swarmed. "Miss Santos, did you steal from Cross Industries? Is it true you seduced Adrien Cross to access company accounts?" Maya pushed through the crowd, their questions like knives. She made it 3 blocks before collapsing against a building. Her phone rang. Carlos from the restaurant. "Maya, I'm seeing the news." "What happened?" "I don't know." Her voice broke. "I don't know." 2 weeks of silence felt like drowning. Maya sat in her father's penthouse, staring at her laptop. The media had crucified her. Former employees gave interviews. Social media erupted with theories. Her father had hired the best lawyers, but the evidence was damning. Every transfer traced back to her credentials. Someone had set her up perfectly. "Mija." Ricardo entered with coffee. "You should eat something." "I'm not hungry." Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. "Hello?" Static. Then a voice. Female. Familiar. "Miss Santos. We need to meet." "Who is this?" "Jennifer Blake. From HR." A pause. "I know you didn't steal that money." Maya's grip tightened. "Then why?" "Not on the phone." "Tonight." "The old warehouse on 5th and Archer." "Come alone." The line went dead. The warehouse smelled of rust and rain. Maya's footsteps echoed in the darkness. "Miss Blake?" A figure emerged from the shadows. Jennifer Blake looked older somehow, tired. "Thank you for coming. You said you know the truth." I do. Jennifer pulled out a flash drive. Because I helped frame you. Maya's blood turned to ice. Why? Because someone paid me $500,000. Jennifer's voice shook. My daughter has cancer. Stage 4. The treatments, they're experimental. Not covered by insurance. I was desperate. Who paid you? I don't know. Everything was encrypted. Anonymous transfers. Jennifer held out the flash drive. But this has the real transaction records. The IP addresses. Everything you need to prove your innocence. Maya stared at the drive. Why are you giving this to me? Because I can't sleep anymore. Tears streaked Jennifer's face. Because my daughter asked me yesterday if I was a good person. And I realized I've become someone I don't recognize. Maya took the flash drive. If I use this, you'll go to prison. I know. Jennifer's smile was bitter. But maybe my daughter will remember me as someone who tried to make things right. That's worth more than freedom. Maya burst into Adrien's office at midnight. He looked up from his desk, surprise flashing across his face. Maya, you can't be here. The restraining order. I know who framed me. She slammed the flash drive on his desk. And I know why. He stared at the drive. What is this? Proof. Jennifer Blake confessed. Someone paid her to set me up using my credentials. Maya's voice was steel. I need your help to trace the IP addresses. Adrien's hand hovered over the drive. If you're lying, then you can call the police right now. She met his gaze. But if I'm telling the truth, then someone wanted me destroyed badly enough to pay $500,000. Don't you want to know who? Something flickered in his eyes. The man she'd fallen for, buried beneath corporate armor. He inserted the drive. They worked through the night. Tracing transactions. Following digital breadcrumbs. The sun was rising when Adrien finally leaned back, his face ashen. No. This can't be right. What? Who is it? He turned the screen toward her. Maya felt the world tilt. The IP address traced back to Ricardo Santos's private network. Her father. There has to be a mistake, Maya whispered. But Adrien was already pulling up more files. Transfer records. Emails. A pattern emerging like a nightmare. He's been planning this for months. Adrien's voice was hollow. Setting you up to fail. Making me the villain. Destroying Cross Industries from the inside. Why would he do this? Adrien pulled up a final document. A real estate acquisition proposal. Dated 6 months ago. Because he wanted my company. Not as an investment. As a takeover. Adrien's laugh was bitter. You were the perfect weapon. He knew I'd fall for you. Knew the scandal would tank our stock value. Then he could buy us out for nothing. Maya's phone rang. Her father. She answered, hands shaking. Mija. Ricardo's voice was warm. I heard you were at Cross Industries. Come home. We'll fix this together. Why did you do it, Papa? Silence. Then, how much do you know? Everything. Then you understand this is business. Nothing personal. His tone shifted, colder. Come home, Maya. We can still make this work. Cross Industries will be ours. We'll be unstoppable together. You destroyed me. You let the whole world think I was a thief. I was protecting you. Teaching you. Ricardo's voice hardened. You wanted to make it on your own? This is what that world does to people like us. Better you learn now while I can still save you. Tears burned Maya's eyes. I trusted you. And I'm trying to save you from making the same mistakes I did. Trust is a luxury we can't afford. No, Papa. Maya's voice broke. Love is the only thing we can't afford to lose. She hung up. Adrien stood, his hand finding hers. What do we do now? Maya looked at the evidence. At the man beside her. At the ruins of everything she'd believed. We finish this. The press conference was scheduled for noon. Maya stood backstage at the Grand Meridian Hotel, watching reporters fill the ballroom. Adrien stood beside her, quiet. You don't have to do this, he said softly. Yes, I do. Her phone buzzed. Her father. Don't do this, Mija. There's still time. We can disappear. Start over. I have accounts offshore. We'll have everything. Maya stared at the message. Everything except honor. She walked onto the stage. Flash bulbs exploded. Voices erupted. Ladies and gentlemen. Maya's voice cut through the chaos. 3 weeks ago, I was accused of embezzling $2 million from Cross Industries. Today, I'm here to tell you the truth. She laid out everything. The setup. Jennifer Blake's confession. The evidence trail. And then she showed them the final piece. The person who orchestrated this wasn't a stranger. It was my father. Ricardo Santos. The room erupted. He wanted to destroy Cross Industries, tank the stock, and buy it at bankruptcy prices. I was the weapon he used. Maya's voice didn't shake. Jennifer Blake is cooperating with authorities. She'll face charges, but she's also providing testimony against my father. Miss Santos. A reporter stood. Are you saying you're choosing Adrien Cross over your own father? Maya's eyes found Adrien in the wings. I'm choosing the truth over comfortable lies. I'm choosing the person I want to be over the person I was raised to become. She stepped off the stage. The penthouse was empty when Maya arrived. Her father sat in his study, staring at the city. Papa. He didn't turn. You've made your choice. You made yours first. Maya sat across from him. When you decided your empire was worth more than your daughter. I built that empire for you. His voice cracked. Everything I did, every ruthless decision, it was to give you a world where you'd never have to struggle like I did. But I wanted to struggle, Papa. I wanted to earn things. Feel proud of what I built. Tears streamed down her face. You tried to protect me from the world by becoming the thing I needed protection from. Ricardo finally looked at her. His eyes were wet. I don't know how to be anything else. Then I hope you learn. In prison, you'll have time. She stood. Maya. His voice was small. I love you. I know, Papa. She paused at the door. That's what makes this so heartbreaking. 6 months later. Maya stood in front of a different restaurant. Not Lumiere. Somewhere smaller. Warmer. Adrien waited at a table by the window, 2 coffees cooling. She slid into the seat across from him. You came, he said. I said I would. They'd spent the months rebuilding. Cross Industries had survived. Ricardo Santos was awaiting trial. Jennifer Blake had received a reduced sentence and her daughter was in treatment, funded by an anonymous donor. Maya had started her own consulting firm. Small. Honest. Hers. I got your message, Adrien said. About the job offer. And? He smiled. That crooked, vulnerable smile she'd fallen for. I think I'd like to work for someone who actually earned her success. It won't be easy. I can't afford to pay you CEO salary. Good thing I'm not doing it for the money. Maya reached across the table. Their fingers intertwined. He writes me letters, she said quietly. Every week. Apologizing. Explaining. Begging me to visit. Have you? Not yet. She met his eyes. Maybe someday. When I'm ready to forgive. But not forget. That's fair. Is it, though? Maya's voice was soft. Choosing love over family. Truth over loyalty. Sometimes I wonder if I'm as ruthless as he was. You're not. Adrien squeezed her hand. Because you did it to build something, not destroy something. There's a difference. Outside, the city hummed with life. Imperfect. Complicated. Real. Maya had learned that revenge was cold comfort. That justice was messy. That love was choosing someone even when it cost you everything. She'd lost a father. But she'd found herself. And maybe, in the ruins of betrayal and the ashes of empire, that was enough. Coffee's getting cold, Adrien said. Maya smiled. Then let's drink it anyway. They sat in the window, two people scarred by the same wounds, building something fragile and true from the wreckage. The world outside kept spinning. And they kept choosing each other. Again and again and again. The end.